If you're right now on your journey to growth and progression, maybe you're an entrepreneur, maybe you're in personal development, maybe you just are looking into getting into any type of entrepreneurship, any type of business, any type of online business, this content might help you understand the process, all right? Because one thing that I've really, 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 really had to master over the past 2 years has been understanding, the process of growth and being able to give yourself grace along the journey. All right, one quote that I heard from an individual that I don't remember his name, but he's worth like I think half a trillion or something like that. He's an OG individual. It was on the podcast with the real Brad Lee, and he said something that stuck with me since I heard this podcast. It was probably a year ago. And he said, don't measure how far you are based on where you want to go. Measure yourself how far you are based on where you started. And when I heard that, that gave me kind of peace of mind, because up until that point, I would constantly compare the present me with the future me. And the thing when it comes to that is that you're always going to be in a disadvantage. You're never going to actually be able to perform to the level and the standard that you have of your future self. And that is normal. Like don't get me wrong, you not having that standard, well, if you don't have that standard, you will not even be watching this video in the first place. But if you have that standard, that's a good thing. But it's also a good thing to be aware of it and to not compare yourself and your confidence and your posture and your belief in yourself to base on where you are compared to where you want to go, but based on where you started to where you are right now. Because I used to compare with my environment and people around me who are earning 10,000 a month, 20,000 a month, 30,000 a month, 50,000 a month, meeting millionaires, and I'm in a house of someone who his door costs more than people's houses in London. In his mansion, it's not even a mansion, I don't even know, it's like his estate, you know and I'm like comparing myself with this 50-year-old individual, and I'm there like 25, I think, at the time, like just barely getting started. And it can be quite disheartening, especially if you don't come from a lot. So one thing that I've genuinely learned is understanding the process of growth. And why I'm creating this video is because over the past 2-3 days, for some reason I keep opening my social media accounts and I'm seeing videos and stories that I've done from me a year ago, from me 2 years ago. And I played them and I wanted to see what I'm talking about, what kind of wisdom I'm sharing. Or it was not really a wisdom, it was like my experience and perception on things. And I was like, man, that is so cringe. Like, this is so cringe. It is insane. Like, look at how you look at how you speak. What are those faces that you're doing as you're speaking? Why you're not looking into the camera? You're not confident, I know, bro. Why are you speaking the way you're speaking, like the intonation that you're having? Why is your voice high pitched? And all of those things. And I just started like judging myself, really like hardcore judging myself. And then I stopped for a second and I thought to myself, well, would previous me like me for doing this video? Heck yeah. I was like, man, you did it. You told him that was great. That was phenomenal. Obviously, future me is going to judge it and going to be like, there are about 50,000 things that you could have done better. Of course. But I would argue that if I was not doing those videos, I would not be in the situation that I'm in right now, where I can actually pick on all of those things. Because the only reason I can pick on those things is because at some point in time, and actually that's a practice that I would do, is I would always rewatch my videos and I will see how I can do better. I will compare my video to the video of my mentor and I'll see the differences. And I would still, keep rocking and keep moving and keep growing and keep seeing how I can share my thoughts more correctly, more clear, and, be able to express everything that I want to say in a condensed matter. because I used to put a story mode that is like 5 story modes in a row, and my mentor will do 1 60-second story mode and he'll give the exact same point. Not because he's speaking faster, but his thoughts are clearer, more condensed. He doesn't explain himself that much. So one thing that I would tell to anyone who is watching this video right now, or maybe, maybe future me is watching this right now and they're picking on things that I could have done better. At this current moment, I'm actually proud of who I am, and I think that's what matters the most. And so long as you measure your success on how far you are from where you started rather than how far you are currently from where you're going, especially if you have big dreams, I think that makes it easier for you to give yourself credit and boost your confidence, because otherwise, the only way you're going to be happy, content, at peace, grateful is going to be when you get to that level, right? Maybe that's 6 figures, maybe that's 1 million, maybe that's having a house, maybe that's buying that dream car that you have. But until then, you would be extremely miserable. So one hack that I've learned to do in my 20s is to give myself that grace that I cannot judge old me for doing things that he thought was right at the time. And I can be proud of myself, because if I did not do that thing, that cringe video, I would not turn out to be the individual that I am right now. And I like who I am right now. So that's something to think about, especially if you're in your 20s, because you will actually sacrifice a lot of things to be able to be exceptional and do things differently than what your family did. And if you don't learn to understand the process, give yourself grace, and give yourself feedback loops without judging yourself, the journey is going to be really hard and you actually might even quit. I read a quote literally before jumping on this video right now, and it said, the growth of a person will be determined of how quickly he can take the truth and positive feedback / criticism without losing enthusiasm or something like that. And I think that's very true. All right. I think the reason I am where I am today is because up until this point, I've been really good at giving myself constructive feedback, but then keep going and asking people with better results than me, what can I improve, and monitor myself as I am around them and model myself to them. So hope that was helpful. If you want to learn more about, what I'm doing, who I'm around, the community, why we have so many people join, how you can start trading the financial markets, how you can, start traveling the world more and all those good things, you're more than welcome to shoot me a message on Instagram. But that's not why I'm doing this video. I'm doing this video so I can help you, so you can hear from someone who is still on the journey, on the ascent, not already made it. All right. And I'm documenting what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, what is my thought process, mainly for me and mainly for the people that I'll be working with, so they actually see the whole process. Appreciate you all. Let's get it. Let's have a great day. Peace out.